Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. So we have ended or we are ending with I would say a volatile week as far as the last trading week of calendar year 2024, where we have seen red across the major indices. So let's see what has happened in the last 1 week and what will probably happen going forward. So welcome to another session of USA Weekly Market Report series. And here, because we are officially ending the final week of calendar year 2024, so rather than analyzing the next 1 week, what I'm going to do, we will do a recap of what has happened in overall 2024 and what kind of indications we are going to get for 2025, at least for the next couple of weeks, or rather next couple of months. So let us see what has happened and what will probably happen. So first chart which I'm going to look at is obviously the dollar index and not the equity index, because it will decide the fate of the market. And as I have said in my last videos, uh, that this breakout has actually changed the overall course of equity market, at least in the near to intermediate term. And it is not only applicable for the US market but also applicable for the global market, because strengthening of US dollar will obviously have a negative impact on the global equity market. It may be positive for Wall Street, but not beyond a certain point, because strengthening of currency beyond a certain point is not at all a good sign, not even for the country itself. Okay, forget about other countries. So if dollar index continue to trade and sustain above 107.55 or more, which it is right now, then obviously, the simple thing to say or simple thing to do is, focus on this highlighted section which has now become active. This is like a no-brainer kind of thing. So as currency started moving further on the upside, you will definitely see the equity market will turn volatile, including the US market. Okay, and we have seen such things started happening. Okay, so the first and the major chart will obviously be the price chart of dollar index. Now let's start analyzing all the three indices. Now this is what we have here as far as the daily chart of Dow Jones. So as I've told you, rather than analyzing the uh, upcoming week, what we are going to analyze is what has happened in the last 1 year. And if you are looking at the moves since, here we are. So this is the level. This is probably near 1st of January 2024. So this is the range from where Dow Jones has started its journey. And from the beginning, Dow Jones has given you a return of 19%, 18 or 19%, but obviously because it has started correcting, so instead of correction, it is still giving a return of 13.8%. So now with the current price structure, we have a range which looks like this. So if I want to summarize Dow Jones for 2024, so we have our support at 37,877 and stop loss at 37,720, and similarly we have 41,192, which is our resistance on the upside. Now we have a range, and you can clearly see how this particular index is behaving. So obviously it is, if you're looking at the overall trend, it does suggest that the Dow Jones went up and now it is correcting. So there is a possibility it may swing back towards 37,700 and 800 before it again started moving higher. So now we have a range bound price action for Dow Jones, and if you are still looking for an upside, then it is mandatory for Dow Jones to surpass and sustain above 45,193 or more. Till then, it will be a range bound trend, and it will be better for you to take a trade when the Dow Jones hits probably the lower end of the range, which will be in between 37,700 and 800. Now, let us talk about Nasdaq. So this is the price chart of Nasdaq, which is obviously the high beta index, and we have seen a 19% move in Dow Jones, but when it comes to Nasdaq, so here we are. This is the potential point from where, or rather, yeah. So this is the range from where we have the Nasdaq started its journey for 2024, and this is the peak. So if you do calculate the move instead of all the volatility, Nasdaq has moved 33%, which is massive, I would say, for an index, and still giving a return of nearly 30%. So Nasdaq is obviously an outperformer, and please do not forget the fact that this particular zone was your resistance, and if Nasdaq continue to trade and sustain above this particular point, then it is still an uptrend instead of correction or consolidation. So for Nasdaq Composite, the most important level will be 18,689. If it falls below that, then you will see further volatility. Otherwise, we have this broad range starting with 15,160 and 15,250, and we have 20,234, 20,235. So this is going to be the next broad range, but not as similar as Dow Jones, because in Dow Jones we have a broad range, but in Nasdaq we have this particular range which you need to focus on. So you just need to focus on 18,689 and make sure Nasdaq is not falling below that. And if you are looking for an upside, a fresh upside, then let Nasdaq sustain above 20,235 or more. Okay, unless it happens, it will still be a range bound price pattern as we have seen in Dow Jones. Now let's come to S&P 500. I mean, obviously it looks more like Nasdaq. So this is what we have here as far as S&P 500 is concerned. So when it comes to S&P 500, so here we are. This is the potential point, I suppose. Yeah, somewhere near here. So here we are. So this is the potential range, and S&P 500 has, I mean, is obviously one of the outperformers. I mean, and they are the biggest of all. There is no doubt about it. But instead of that, these two lines represent the lower end of the range, or the from the point from where we have started calendar year 2024. So from that point, even S&P 500 has given you a return of nearly 27%, and instead of correction or consolidation, it is still giving a return of 24%. So S&P 500 and Nasdaq has outperformed Dow Jones, no doubt about it. And here we are, similar kind of price action for S&P 500, where if you are looking for an upside, then let S&P 500 surpass and sustain above 6120. Unless it surpass and sustain above 6120, you cannot expect a big upside or fresh upside. And similar to Nasdaq, we also have a breakout above 5686. So 5686 will become your point of reference, and make sure that S&P 500 is not going below 5686. Otherwise, you will see further volatility. But till then we have this particular range which is currently active, so focus on that. So one thing is clear across all the three indices, that there is a range in between which the overall price chart is moving, and if you are looking for an upside, then let the price surpass its previous highs or all time highs. Okay. Number two, I mean, we will get to know about this trend, how will this trend behave, but it's going to take at least 3 to 4 months. And most importantly, because the next president will take his official, uh, or the date from which he'll actually started working and implementing policies will be at or after 20th of January 2025. So obviously it will have a major impact across the US market and across the global economy. So let the actual things settle down a bit. So it's gonna take a couple of weeks at least for the trend to settle down, and that's why I have chosen for a broad analysis rather than focusing on the next week, because obviously we do not have much volume and much participation in the first week of January. That's not possible. The volume will slowly started coming in after the, you know 10th or 12th of January. That's the least. Okay, or after the first half of January. Now one more chart is Bitcoin, and obviously because dollar index moving higher, so it will have a negative impact on the Bitcoin as well. But overall, this is the trend. Okay, so Bitcoin may go for some further correction or some more correction if the dollar index keeps on moving higher, but the overall trend or range remains the same when we are looking at the weekly chart. So if Bitcoin continue to trade and sustain above this particular line, which is most probably, let me show it to you, which is most probably 75,000 or 76,000, then eventually it will move somewhere in between 250,000 and 300,000. So this is the range which is still active and there is no change in the trend. So there are a couple of things which are clear. Number one, unless dollar index settles down, you cannot see a stable move in the equity market. As far as equity market is concerned, they looks a bit dicey and we want clarity. So let the equity market settle down, and the time which the equity market may probably take to settle down is not or will not happen in the next couple of days. It will rather take couple of weeks. So because the volume right now is low, so does the participation, and we have a new president comes in and take official oath. So let him implement the policy, or let him roll out the policy for the US economy, and then the market started reacting on that accordingly. So till then, we have a good year in calendar year 2024, and hopefully the stock market will continue to roar in calendar year 2025. With that, this is the end of the video, and I wish you a very happy new year to all of you, and may God fulfill all your dreams and desires. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.